Hello everyone, we have just entered the final week of Furry February, or in other words, the month of the mink, and last week of February, or any month nowadays, is obviously going to be Kizuna. This time it's Kizuna Chopper with his waifu Milky. I honestly do not remember this Milky character at all, but she is here. All these teams, they do not require a boosted character, friend captain. In fact, they're the quick unit that is boosted this time around, they don't even have a boosted captain effect. I just used them on some of these teams for extra tickets and to show that the friend captain can be pretty versatile. Now obviously a boosted friend captain will help you get more tickets, and it makes stage 2 on a lot of these teams easier since they have rainbow affinity and their special can be used on that stage. Now these teams are based on a lot of assumptions here. I'm assuming that past level 30 there's gonna be 1 turn increase of silence. And I forget the other debuff already. Was it? What was it? Was it bind? Yeah, so I'm assuming that the silence is gonna get extended by 1 turn, which is the reason Raizo support is on this Neko here. He'll get rid of 2 turns, which leaves Neko to get rid of the remaining 4 turns. Carrot can be replaced by any attack booster. It's just that Dex does not have any good Free Spirit or Cerebral attack boosters, and I'm building this team around Free Spirit so that Koala can activate her super type. Robin and Jinbei happen to be Fighter Cerebral, so they work with Milky and Koala, and they are a universal base attack booster. Later on, they may be relevant as percent damage reduction reducers, though Sengoku already does that. This second quick team utilizes just super type Zoro, to get around the special rewind and silence. So you won't have to worry about how many turns of silence there will be past level 30, since Zoro will get rid of 10 turns, which should be more than enough. This team is honestly just a bunch of random units slapped together. Vivi and Rebecca, you never use their special, since the only reason I'd see them being used here is for their silence reduction. But Zoro already gets rid of 10 turns of that. You could maybe replace... No, I don't think replacing Zoro is a good idea. He is only a 4 times booster, since you will not be able to stall for enough damage taken to trigger his 5 times boost. But even a 4 times boost should be enough, more than enough for the average player. I don't see the average player needing more than a 4 times boost, especially considering the 4 times boost is paired with a super type. This team is again using the free-to-play event Sengoku that came out a month ago. I think a month ago is fine. But to put in 2 teams on this video, I mean. And he really is just a perfect unit here, since you're probably going to have a Dex friend captain, and if you do, Chopper turns all orbs into unfavorable, and the unfavorable of Dex is strength, which Sengoku looks for, and provides the chain boundary effect. Supposedly later on there will also be percent damage reduction, which Sengoku also gets rid of. Though Stussy on this team can do that as well. Moving on to the strength variation, we have Carrot and Wanda captain, so they are kind of irreplaceable on this team, so if you don't have Carrot and Wanda, you probably want to just look at the next team. The reason they are irreplaceable, in my opinion, is that their captain ability has... Well, I guess Shanks' crew might work. The problem with... Shanks' crew isn't boosted though, and this team kind of doesn't work that well with Milky, since Milky only boosts Free Spirit and Cerebral. She is not a rainbow attack booster for some reason. Like, they made it pretty annoying. And it turns out all of the units beside Wanda and Carrot here are Slasher and Powerhouse, which means they do get the full boost from Carrot and Wanda, but they do not get boosted at all by Milky. Perona is just here for support support Kuma to get rid of the 5 turns of despair, and she also has cooldown reduction because I wasn't sure if Shuten Maru would have been up by the time you reach the final stage. This arena, I don't know what to call him, Ashura or Shuten Maru, he is very good. He provides a base attack boost and self-proccing conditional here. I think there may have been another thing he was good for this variation, but I'm forgetting. And I guess if you can consistently find a Milky friend captain, then you don't need Carrot and Wanda captain, since Milky gets rid of 6 turns of resilience, which should be what is happening after level 30, the resilience. I'm guessing gets increased by 1, and then there's going to be like 3 or 5 turns of increased defense up, which doesn't matter since this boss does not have full immunity on this variation, which means Shuten Maru and Carrot and Wanda will all be able to get their defense downs in. And that also means that free-to-play Sanji Zoro here will be able to apply that increased damage taken. So yeah, Perona can be replaced by any despair reducer, though if you're replacing Wanda and Carrot with someone like Shanks' crew, I think it'd be better to leave her on, since then Shuten Maru might not be fully ready. This team has quite a bit of redundancy, and this is going to be the first team in this video where I'm using... Actually, I'm not sure if it's the first team, where I'm using this other boosted unit. In most circumstances, you want to be using the Milky and not this one, Tristan and Goat. But this team works fine with this boosted unit, since this boosted unit boosts Cerebral and Striker by 3 times. So they boost themselves and they boost Perospero, which is the most important part. Perospero on this team is redundant with Yamato since they are kind of conflicting. He inflicts a chain lock while Yamato gives the team a massive chain boost. But the reason you use him here is because he does have double stats and he has that end of turn damage, which will get around the resilience. I think this team really wants a boosted unit for stage 2, since it really hurts hitting with quick units into a Dex enemy, even with an attack boost from Bonnie. You may want to stall a turn on those turtles too, since you do not actually get a defense down if Shuten Maru does not have stage 2 special, which is annoying because that's a 24 turn cooldown. Another annoying thing is that if you do have final tap on Yamato, Sugar will prioritize tapping Yamato last, which in this circumstance is actually bad because Yamato's not doing much damage. finally we have the Dex variation. I really don't like building around Odin Captain, since his super type condition is pretty hard to fulfill. But I managed to do it with using this Neko again. Ooh. This Pirate Festival free-to-play Usopp is very nice for this variation, since he will be getting rid of the attack down and bind. Later on you will want to be putting Arena Frankie on the Usopp to get rid of the additional turns of attack down, and Sanji and Luffy's swap will get rid of the bind and paralysis on stage 2 and bind on the final stage. Now, when I was building these teams, I actually took a risk and built the teams before the colors revealed, but would you know it, I got all colors correct. I managed to predict all the colors, and this wasn't just random guessing. I based my assumptions on like the captains that have been written, the legends that have been released so far this month. So I saw that the second boss had resilience, so immediately I thought of Carrot and Wanda with their end of turn damage and thought, okay, so the second boss is definitely going to be strength, since we already have other Dex legends, and Carrot and Wanda has a quick side to them, which means they want you to use Carrot and Wanda on the resilience. So it's not going to be Dex that's going to be favorable, but it's going to be quick. So quick is favorable against strength, so the second boss is going to be strength. Now it was a 50-50 for which boss was going to be the quick, since the third boss reduced cooldowns for strength, dex, and quick, which are the colors that dog and cat boost. But the first boss reduced cooldowns for let me see here, Cerebral, Slasher, and Fighter, and dog and cat are both slashers and fighters. So now what I ended up doing was I looked at stage 2 of the first boss, which had special rewind, and I thought, well, you're probably going to want to launch cat and dog special on stage 2 anyways, since their specials revolve around having 2 turns of buffs. And I looked at the third boss, and there really was no reason to use cat or dog there. And the way I deduced that the third one was going to be Dex is that on the treasure map, the colors of the boosted units, so there was Carrot and Wanda, which is quick and Dex, and then there's Pedro, who was quick, but then there's Peckham's, who is just randomly strength. So that was honestly like quite far-fetched, but it ended up working out for me. My editing software crashed, and a bunch of the UI is looking very weird right now, so I'm just gonna go back to talking about the units used in this video. Support Koala on Sabo will get rid of the additional turns of attack down and bind. Luffy on this team is used to get rid of paralysis on stage 2 and guarantee a strength orb on Sabo for versus Ace. Final Tap Kid I honestly think should be replaced by a unit that can boost attack as well as remove damage threshold, since after level 30 there will be damage threshold.